This is the Advanced Selling Podcast.
I meditate. I light a candle I burn in the Northwest.
The aim of this podcast is to help business sales teams grow their business with modern strategies and philosophies. Now your hosts, Bill Caskey and Brian Neal.
Hi, everybody. Advanced Selling Podcast again. This is Brian Neal.
Hello, Bill Caskey here.
Hi. So we're going to do a little thing today. Have you seen the show Wife Swap?
I have, yeah.
That's an interesting show, isn't it?
It's tedious, but yeah.
The most interesting thing about Wife Swap is where in the hell do they find these people?
I know.
It's bizarre.
Well, when you see them, you know.
It's just bizarre. On both sides, it's bizarre. But we thought we'd do a little client swap today. And what that specifically means is Bill and I we're going to both give a scenario that we've heard recently at a client to one another and see if we come up with a similar answer or maybe a different twist we can take back to our client.
Good.
So
you want to go first?
You said you've got a good one. So do you want me to go first? Yours is good. You go.
Well, mine is complex. So in the time allotted here, I'll just take your first couple of blushes at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Client is in the furniture business, and they sell to retail furniture stores.
Got it.
And in the last 2 or 3 years, the furniture business has been down.
Correct.
Obviously, because new housing is down and people aren't spending $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 on new furniture. So the problem is that a lot of these furniture retailers went out and bought a lot of stuff in 07, 08, and a lot of them still have it. I mean, it's just the pipeline is full of inventory.
Should I know that if I'm going to buy a couch or something? That's probably a 07 model.
Although they're not going to tell you that. But,
right. Okay.
The 07 model. So my client that sells furniture is hearing a lot from buyers these days. You know what? I have a freeze. I have a buying freeze. I have a close to buy. It used to be back in the old purchasing days.
Yeah.
So my client has come to me and say, well, I'd love to use the material and find the paint and all that, but the fact is that I can't even get appointments, and when I do, their pain is something that I can't fix.
Mm-hmm. That's it? That's hard.
So
it's tough.
So the question is really, what can they do? Can they be, as we say here, can they be a part of the solution?
Yeah.
Or are they totally dependent upon the pipeline opening up, furniture starting to move through it, and then they sell more?
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Take a stop.
It's a tough one. And these people pay you money to give
them.
They
pay us money,
right?
and I've given them some
ideas?
thoughts, but I don't know.
All right, so here's where this might be a little frightening to some of our listeners or watchers because
I love it already.
It's just out there a little bit, okay? And so here's what we do, and here's what happens. Salespeople have a view of the world that is like this, and we're on the video, so I'll make the little proverbial circle.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
You know you have a dominant eye, right? You know how to figure out which. Do you know that?
Mm.
Do you take archery
I do,
class?
or everybody
does?
Oh.
Yeah, you know how to find your dominant eye? Find something in the room, like that little Advanced Selling Podcast square. Make a circle with your hands like that, and put the thing right in the middle.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the circle, and then close one eye.
Okay.
And you'll see that it moves.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Oh, my dominant eye is my left eye.
There you go.
What is yours?
Left-eyed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I am left-eyed.
We'll do a demonstration on that for the video. Okay.
So we have a view of the world, and so your client's view of the world is I sell furniture. There's a glut of furniture. The people that buy it have shut it off. Therefore, I'm out of business.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Yet in that whole chain, what is there? There is a huge problem, right? Mm-hmm. Which is the people that own the furniture stores, I'm assuming, are struggling to get the stuff out of their stores.
They have a problem.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay? And then they say, I'd love to use your stuff, but that's not something that I fix. Au contraire, right? Here is where the salesperson, your client, has got to become really creative and get outside of what they do to find resources and bring ideas and solutions that help move the furniture that's in the showroom out of the showroom. And so instead of me coming to them saying, hey, look, I got this brand new chair and this good leather, this big ottoman and this and that, I've got to come to say, I've gone out and found resources. I've got 3 or 4 ideas or 3 or 4 suggestions or 3 or 4 programs or whatever that is to help you move the inventory that's on your showroom floor out the door for you. Something totally different than what I do. And that can come in the form of an alliance with someone else. For instance, I've got a client that does direct marketing programs for auto dealers. They're looking to get in the furniture business. Be interesting to put them together.
Yeah.
And to say I'm bringing these people in to help, increase the volume, increase.
Do they want to get in the furniture business?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Because that would be a good alliance. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll take that off the air.
And I would definitely look at that. I would say, okay, what is the problem? And while I may not have a direct solution, I've got a brain, and I've got experience, and I've got contacts and things like that I can use to insert to help be a problem solver on a particular thing.
Right.
That's just one idea.
Okay, good.
Take it different place.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, but it requires you to change your role and the thinking of your role to a guy who just waits until the pipeline is empty, and then I'll shove more stuff down it.
Yes.
And these guys are very sophisticated in how they're thinking. They know they need to be thinking about that. In fact, the sales manager has said this is an opportunity for us.
Yeah,
if we can figure out how to crack this nut, then this will be a great differentiator in the future.
Good. It's very, very good.
So that's that was my and you handle it well. Well, I told him that. I mean, I said that in a you have to define what the real problem is. When somebody comes to me and says, I've got a freeze, I can't buy anymore, and I say, why? And they say, because furniture's not moving, I would say, there's a problem. I can help them.
Yeah, no doubt.
That should be music to your ears, but in the old perspective, it's not music because it sounds like they're not going to buy anything.
Yeah, and when you're trying to find those ideas and solutions, the best place to look is in your own backyard. How many salespeople do you work with at this client? How many are there?
10.
There are 10, and they're across the country?
Yep.
And if they're across the country, they probably touch how many furniture stores?
50
total?
each.
50, that's 500 furniture stores. I bet you
Somebody's
at 500, someone is moving their old inventory off the floor. And I need to tap into the ideas of that person and what they're doing. And so it's right there. The solution's right there with you.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Very good.
It's very good. So,
but if you never see yourself as part of that solution, then you're never going to call your buddy in Alabama and say, hey, what are you guys doing over there to help your people move furniture?
Yes, this is very much the mentality. This is an accountability, personal accountability scale mentality. When we talk to our friend Terry Daniel, who says, if I'm in low accountability, I'm in protect and defend mode, I'm frozen, I'm a victim, this is just happening to me. Or if I'm above the line of the accountability, or I'm highly accountable, I say, how am I contributing to the problem, and then how can I contribute to the solution of it? Good place to live.
Good. Okay, it's your turn. We got about 30 seconds.
Quick.
No, we got a couple minutes. Go ahead.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
My client, I've talked about them before. They manufacture soap. They sell it to high-end hotels. We've got a very large hotel chain in New York City that we're speaking with. We're talking to the purchasing person, 2 VPs that are involved in the buying decision. There's a third VP who has not been involved in the process yet. And we've heard rumblings, this third VP is leaning towards another vendor, another supplier. And we were moving down the process just fine, lots of good information. All of a sudden, the trail went cold, and our people who are normally real responsive to us stopped responding.
The two.
Yes, the 2 VPs. And now we are sitting here 3 weeks with no contact.
Let me play the violin. I think it might be over.
I have Jeopardy on my iPhone. Do you want to know that?
Okay, so the question then is, what do we do?
What do we do?
We've got a customer who's gone quiet.
Yes.
Trail's gone dead.
Yes.
I like that.
The popcorn has run out, just like the Brady Bunch episode in Hawaii when they ran out. The taboo thing, remember that? Remember that?
No.
Brady Bunch episode when they went to Hawaii? Oh, you got to YouTube that.
I was shooting baskets then. Didn't watch TV in my younger years.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's a tough one because I don't know the internal ecosystem and dynamics. Does your client know this third person who they think is the influencer?
Great question. Yes. Met them and discussed and talked about a deal with them 2 years ago, but hasn't had any interaction since.
Okay. Talked about this deal?
No.
Or that was another, with this deal?
Same scenario, different time, yeah.
Okay. So it would be odd for them to call this person up. There's not an easy way to get with this person.
Not an easy way. There's some familiarity, so there could be a reminder, but it's not like they would recognize their name tomorrow.
Okay. Is there a person at your client that has an equal, like a adult to adult, peer to peer?
There is. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that, but that'd be an interesting idea.
I mean, I'm just thinking about. If there's some reluctance to call that person, because really what you guys want is reluctance.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's a powerful, big hitter. She's a
not
big
necessarily
hitter.
just the loyalty to the other two.
Yeah.
The fear of
the loyalty to the people who are not calling you.
Yes.
Okay.
Well said. Loyalty to the people who aren't calling you back.
Who are blowing you off. I'm only loyal to people who blow me off.
I'm going to go through that. I'm going to go to hell and back for that guy, even though he doesn't call me back in 6 months.
I have a good relationship with him, though.
We do.
He just doesn't call me anymore. Maybe he doesn't like me.
Am I fat? Do I look fat in these jeans? Yes, exactly.
So, you know, what would Donald Trump do? What would Brian Neal do? What would who's the guy? Richard Branson. I think of him more now than Donald Trump about what would Richard Branson do in that situation.
He would buy the hotel. That's what he would do.
That's right.
Put his own soap in there.
But the right thing to do, to me, and you've tried calling, obviously. They've tried calling these two people.
Yes,
they don't get messages,
yes.
and they left voicemails, and they left emails, and it's obvious that it's obvious.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Something's changed.
And probably not good for your client.
Probably not.
Okay. So the intent there has to be clarity
there you go.
around where it is versus the intent being to get it back on the table and resurrect it again and all that stuff.
You get golf claps for that. It's good. Yep, exactly.
So,
It's pure.
But if they're not calling you back, the only person who hasn't not called you back is the guy or the lady who probably you need to call and say, I'm assuming this, since I haven't heard from your folks, I'm assuming this is over and you've decided on another course of action. And since I haven't heard from them, I just assumed that. Is there any reason that I should keep this file open? I mean, I know it's a big deal, so you wouldn't say those words, but that'd be the attitude.
Close to it. No, yeah, very, very much so. I think that was exactly the counsel we came away with today, which was we have to reach out to her. We have to get her perspective. You've heard me use that word before, but I want to get her perspective. We didn't include her when we probably should have earlier on.
Yeah.
And I've also heard some rumblings that she's sort of tied and sort of leaning towards this other brand. And if that's the case, we'll be happy to pack our stuff and get the heck out of your way.
So it's a current client?
No.
Oh, pack your samples up?
Pack my samples up,
Okay.
and whatever else.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing to lose there, in our opinion. So.
Yeah, but you said something in your epilogue there.
Yep.
That and that is we probably should have been talking to her in the first place.
Yes,
and so
correct.
then my mind is, okay, well, why weren't you, or why weren't they, or were you given specific instructions not to call her or talk to her?
No,
Yeah.
just didn't
feel right.
Yeah. So good.
It's amazing how when you take these things and sort of reverse engineer them, you can always see where it happened. It's kind of like we talk about Wimp Junction. It's that place, and it's Terry Slattery, our friend from Minnesota. He coined that term, and we really like it. Is that place where you get to in the sales cycle where you have a choice to make?
Yeah.
And is that choice going to take you to the end zone, or is it going to take you in a roundabout forever?
Yep.
And that's the time you lose the deal.
Yes.
It's not back here on the 11th hour.
Exactly. And the only way you get down the right path at the Wimp Junction is to lean on abundance and intent.
That's right.
And to be okay, because your fear and scarcity and desperation will let you travel down their path, which typically is good.
That's a great topic for a podcast all by itself. That's
good.
All right, good. Hope you enjoyed that. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at listener@advancedsellingpodcast.com. You can go to advancedsellingpodcast.com, the website, and also tap into all the archives of old shows. And if you're listening online, make sure you subscribe through iTunes.
And go find us on LinkedIn, B. Neal and B. Caskey.
Yeah,
right?
good. Okay, see you next time.
Bye.